And just 1 week later, we are brought back in the sad but true reality of February movies. Safehouse stars Denzel Washington as CIA agent Tobin Frost, an agent who went rogue who's brought into a CIA safehouse in Cape Town, South Africa to be looked after Matthew Weston, played by Ryan Reynolds. However, the safehouse is ambushed by these bloodthirsty mercenaries who are after a chip that Denzel Washington's character has on him, and the two go on the run to find another safehouse to keep themselves safe from the mercenaries who are pursuing them. If I haven't said this before, Denzel Washington is my third favorite actor of all time. The man has an immense amount of tenacity and charisma on screen, and he embellishes himself inside any character that he portrays, and he delivers good on almost any role, no matter what kind of movie it is. And even in the mediocre movie that this is, Denzel Washington does deliver. He emulates himself in just about every aspect that you'd want out of a badass. When he talks down to someone who tries to rise up to his power, and he just puts them in their place just 1 second later. Nobody can do that better than Denzel Washington does. Ryan Reynolds, on the other hand, I think is a decent actor, but it's given the right kind of material to work with, and he works decent with this kind of character, even though it's one that has been extremely overused in a bunch of other movies. Yet again, the guy does have dramatic potential in his acting, and we have seen that before, especially in the movie Buried. While 2011 definitely was not his best year for movies, I really hope the guy can step it up in the future, because I feel like given the right role and the right director, he can really follow through with this performance. Also, this movie has a good supporting cast comprised of Vera Farmiga, Sam Shepard, and Gleeson, who's definitely one of the most underrated actors in the business. They all do their best just like Washington and Reynolds, even though their characters are very overused. Big problem with this movie lies within the direction by Daniel Espinosa, because he never really has a true style throughout the movie. It just feels like third tier Tony Scott direction, and that is especially shown in the action sequences, which are very shaky cam almost all the time. There's not really any still shot within almost any action scene in the film, and they're all edited very choppily as it cuts from one to the other almost every second or so, in which it just doesn't really give itself a rest. While the first half does have some decent action sequences, the more that follow afterwards, the camera just continues to move more and more. Also, the writing follows a lot of the conventions that you see in a lot of movies similar to this, because this movie really has nothing any original in its aspects. A lot of them you can see in a lot of movies that do it better, because there is not a lot of creativity. It's just brought down by lazy thoughtlessness as more of the movie goes on. The first half of this movie was intriguing, especially for the way they introduced Denzel Washington's character in a pretty badass way, but once it came to the point after the car chase when they escape out of the safe house, the movie just goes progressively downhill more and more, and into a third act that just compiles into all the conventions and cliches that we've seen out of this genre before. Safe House isn't an awful movie, it isn't a good movie, it's just right in the middle of being mediocre and very mildly, and I really use mildly in capitalization right there, okay at best. And that's why I'm gonna give Safe House 2.5 out of 5 stars. So if you enjoyed my review of Safe House, I'll put an annotation for when my written review is up for this movie on my website, which the link will be down below, which you can check. But in the meantime, Tar from CaliCritic Reviews, make sure to check out the annotation right here to my latest DVD collection update, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.